He was the first guy I was thinking of for playing Cousin Marv when I was reading the script, even before I actually knew or found Tom Hardy as the man who was going to play Bob, which is also my first choice, by the way. But of course, always waiting a little bit before you start casting with the lead and then see if it works out. But I was pretty confident that in whoever Bob was going to be, that James Gandolfini would fit. He was a great guy, funny, smart, and he was pure talent and craftsmanship. It was all there, and I think he inspired everybody in showing how, after such a career, how you still can work with serenity and integrity. And he did it by doing it as if it's his first film. He would start from scratch. He would allow himself to be very vulnerable. He has so much experience, but never relying on it. Using it sometimes, of course, that's what we do. But he would not just, I know how it works kind of thing. He was focused and nervous, just like if I didn't know James Gandolfini and I would see him, I would think this is his first part. So he was excited, but also allowed himself to be, scared of going for it, because that's what we all are. Every actor has it. I have it when I'm directing. We're all like scared at many moments because we don't know. The process was the easiest ever. I don't think there's going to be a movie ever made where it went so fast and easy. When I stepped in the first time in the office with the producers and the guys from the studio from Searchlight, we were going to talk about the process, the vision, and of course we were going to cast for the lead. And we made a kind of a list. It was a big list, kind of a wish list, and I was still processing because things were going very fast at that point. When I got the movie, the first meeting, it was just like, it went fast. And I walked in, and there was this wall with all the pictures of all great actors, like top list. It's like almost like surreal. I'm like, can I pick one of those? Right? Really? And I was gonna list up some names. And then I just at that moment when they asked me, so who we're gonna cast? I said, what list do we have? I said, there's no list. Because there was this one guy that kept staring at me from the wall that was just all the time, and it was Tom Hardy. And I said, I want Tom Hardy, there's no list. And they're like, good, let's do this. Called him, called Tom, we met through Skype. He was doing Mad Max in South Africa, I was in Brussels. We talked for a couple of hours. The next step was we would start talking like who we're going to do Nadia. And I always try to consider the feelings of the actor who's going to play with him. Will never force him playing with someone he doesn't feel. I said, listen, I got a couple of names that I think might match, and Numi was amongst them. I'm a great fan of hers, and I think she would be perfect for that part. And what I didn't know was that they're friends. At the time, I didn't know. And she was reading she read the script even before I did, and she told her agent, like, okay, you keep me posted when someone's going to direct it and who. She found out I was. And she heard that that I was going to approach Tom, and they call each other because they're friends. And so it was like, you know who's going to call? He's like, yeah, what's up with that film, that guy? And he's like, yeah, do it. It was just happening, and even before I met her, it was actually already decided that she was going to be Nadia. So we met in Brussels, Numi and I became friends. We talked for 8 hours, and I just felt like, oh, she's not just a great actress, she's a great person. We're still friends. We have so much, we stay in touch all the time. We want to work together again. The dog was an important character in a sense that he symbolizes the innocence that everybody's looking for. And it does it in an awesome way because it's a puppy. That's what they do there. He was the star, When he comes on the set, nobody would even care about anyone else but the dog. And in the beginning I was very strict. I said, nobody cuddles. Dog goes straight from the trainer to the scene and back, no distracting, because I wanted the dog to be the dog. If he had to go right, we would follow him. If he went left, we would follow. Not like, oh, camera goes to the left, and we want the dog to do the same. No, let the dog be the dog. And that worked really, really well. It was also fun because in that process, Tom Hardy could also work on its character, being Bob, playing with the dog, and that playful playing, like we shot the first scene that we actually shot together was on the waterfront, where he's with the dog. And we have like 10 minutes of footage. I was just like, keep it rolling, just whatever. And then the guy would like Torres, John Ortiz, great part, by the way, great actor. That was like, that's dog play, and he's cute. Dennis was very generous, and he said, listen, this is my script. If it's going to be your movie, here it is. I'm like, wow. And can I like do something? He's like, sure. Pick my brain, write notes, and I'll work on it. And I said, good. I was allowed. I had a final draft version of the script, and sometimes it's like notes, and sometimes ideas in my bad English writing, because it's not my first language, and so. And then I would send it to him, and he's like, "Hey man, I love that. That's a good idea." And then that other thing, I know what you mean. Let me do something. And then tack. He writes I think he writes faster than I can talk. And then next day, bam, all the stuff was there and good ideas, and we had this ongoing collaboration on it. Even during shooting, we've been walking on the sidewalk with a napkin and a pen, writing a couple of new dialogues for the scene that we were going to shoot in 10 minutes, and then handing it over to, like, can you say this? Look, I said, okay.